Eddie, when did you know? They say a deal's not done till it's signed. When did you have a great confidence that, okay, we've wrapped this up?
Well, Mike Coppinger didn't help us because, you know, it was like, where's that come from? You know, I know, but he was messaging me non-stop. Look, we after a while, maybe 2 weeks ago, we kind of had an agreement that this was the direction that he wanted to go, but we had no signed contract. And that takes time, you know, all of a sudden. And then Coppinger puts that out. Then people want to make last-ditch attempts. They'd love the deal between Matchroom and Canelo to fall through. And they'll do everything they can to make it fall through.
How real was the last-ditch PBC offer?
I don't know. I don't field the offers for Eddie Reynoso. So in this open market situation, everyone will make different offers. And it's not really, Eddie wouldn't sit down with me and say, we've had this offer, we've had this offer. He'd say, what's your offer? You know, and as close as we all are, if the offer's not right, they're not going to do it. You know, and when the Caleb Plant opportunity came up, we all wanted that. We all wanted Matchroom to do that. We all wanted it to be on DAZN, but they wouldn't let it happen. So he had to go on PBC, take their belt, thank you very much, and then go back to being a free agent again, which was an incredible bit of business. Because normally in that scenario, someone would say, oh no, we'll only give you the opportunity if you sign a free fight deal, but he wouldn't do it. They were trying to get him to sign a multi-fight deal, but he wouldn't do it. So what an incredible bit of business by Canelo Alvarez, who wins the belts on DAZN, rocks over to another network, takes the belt off the champion, and poodles off to back over to the network again. I mean, that's smart stuff.
Canelo made it clear that he was drawn to the talent of Bivol to fight Bivol. Yeah. Was he drawn to the Golovkin fight? Because it seems like it's like I can take him or leave him. I don't need the fight.
The thing is, what people have got to understand about Canelo and Golovkin, they cannot stand each other. Yeah. Right? I mean, he probably won't say that, Sal. But you saw it in the thing. I mean, he doesn't really. Yeah, but he says I don't like it. But and Gennady will say things. He feels like he won the first two fights. Mm-hmm. That fight, if Canelo wins, if Golovkin beats against Murata, that fight is going to be absolutely huge, because when I get those two together and we start talking and we start debating the first fights, that is going to be an absolute war. Mm-hmm. But they've both got to win their fights.
How close were we going to Dubai? Because there was a report yesterday.
We had 3 approaches internationally to stage this fight, and we decided that Las Vegas, Cinco de Mayo was where we wanted to do this fight. I want to fight him internationally where I can, but at the same time we have got 9 weeks. You know, we had a lot of different approaches, and we needed to make a move. I've never promoted a Canelo Alvarez fight in Las Vegas myself personally as the lead promoter, so there was part of me that wants to do the grand arrivals, wants to do something a little bit different, and wants to change the way boxing is promoted in Las Vegas that weekend. And I'm going to try a lot of different things, try and really freshen it up, and
Eddie, final question from me. Can you give me a lot of Bam Rodriguez in the future?
Oh yeah.
Don't do it twice a year yet.
So I'm trying. I want to put Jesse Rodriguez. I want him to headline in San Antonio. We have an obligation to fight Rungasai. We also have Estrada against Franco. Mm-hmm. I would love a double header in San Antonio. Estrada against Franco and Rungasai against Jesse Rodriguez. You know, that's a great fight. 2 great fights, and this kid is super talented. Like the way that he dealt with Quadras and the confidence that will give him. You know, before that fight, he said, "I'm gonna go back to 108 after." And I'm like, "You ain't." But you know, look at this week. I mean, imagine Jesse Rodriguez against Julio Cesar Martinez if he wins this weekend. Imagine Jesse Rodriguez against Chocolatito. Imagine Jesse Rodriguez against Estrada, against Rungasai. I mean, they're like the kid who just beat Ancajas. Great fight. Was it Rodriguez as well, I think?
Yeah, the Argentinian.
I mean, just unbelievable fights.
But you do want to keep him active, though, don't you?
Yeah, you must keep him active. You know, we'll be looking for him to fight in May. End of May, early June. Tough fight he had, by the way. Like, you know.
No, it's a real fight.
It was a tough fight.
Can you elaborate on what you just broke to Steve Kim about the third fight for Canelo?
Yeah.
I mean, you think it's possible to get him to Mexico with that third fight?
I think it's John Ryder in London, which will probably be his mandatory, or it's maybe Makabu in Guadalajara. You know, can you imagine a Canelo Alvarez fight in Guadalajara? I mean, look, part of me would love to bring him to the UK, but also to bring Canelo Alvarez to Guadalajara and to see that as a spectacle. You know, I mean, that would be something even selfishly for me, and that's maybe even over London.
Yeah.
You know, to see that with your own eyes would be something incredible.
I want you to elaborate on the Golovkin fight. I mean, were you there when Canelo signed on the dotted line for Golovkin, and like, was it tough to get him to do that, knowing how much hatred
Do you know
is
what?
there?
I said to him earlier, Canelo, I said, I have never. You are the easiest person I've ever worked with. In fact, my two easiest clients to work with are Canelo Alvarez and Anthony Joshua. And they're the two biggest stars in the sport.
Yeah.
Why
Like,
is that?
I don't. He's just. There's so much to be said in life about keeping things simple, and Canelo Alvarez is a great example of that. Right? You've only got to go down the gym. It's not a science lab. It's just
No.
a gym with him and Eddie, and a tight group of people, and just, you know, who do you want to fight in this? I don't know. Speak to Eddie. Like, okay, Eddie wants you to fight this. Okay. You know, what's the deal? Okay, or on this or that. Okay, done. Okay, on we go. I mean, anyone, you have to understand that this guy trains in the morning, finishes in the gym, puts his golf stuff on in the gym after a shower, goes and plays 18 holes, and will practice an hour before 18 holes, finishes at golf, drives home, and does his evening workout. And I said to his fitness coach or his strength coach, I said, are you happy about that? Because that's not really normal. And he went, it works for Canelo Alvarez. I mean, it's every day, by the way. It's not one game a week, it's every single day. He's like, and again, I don't want to sound too much like a fanboy. I am, right? But you know how we talk about good energy and like being around people that just give you a buzz? Same with AJ. Like being around Canelo Alvarez kind of inspires you to get up off your arse in the morning and do something. Because how easy is it in life just to sort of mope around? He's a go-getter, and you watch him and you spend time around him and you think, right, I'm gonna get up an hour earlier. I'm gonna go to the gym when I think I'm tired. So people like that, and it does bother me that sometimes he doesn't get the credit he deserves.